Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another interview. I've got Finn here. Thanks for coming on.
G'day. How you going?
So we'll start off again with a basic overview. So just give people an overview of who Finn is, what you do, different things.
So I'm Finn. I'm 19 and I'm a uni student, and I just work casually at at Early Pub.
Yeah.
And I'm just lie around the house, play footy. I don't really do a lot of things at this point, but
Yeah. Of the pandemic and that.
yeah. What else? What could I say about myself? Yeah, I'm a student.
Chilling.
I'm a chill.
Yeah. So how are things at the moment?
Yeah, things at the moment are really good. I think with this pandemic, it's just allowed me to slow down a bit, get everything into like perspective, and just kind of just focus on self-care in a way.
Yeah.
And just because with like work and uni,
Yeah.
you're just at a fast pace. You can't really slow down, and then a lot of the time I'm working until like 1 a.m. in the morning, and then
Yeah, bro. I feel
I'm
that.
tired all the time, and then
Yeah.
it's just like a cycle.
Yeah.
It's good to break that cycle and just get some perspective.
Yeah. Because you get in that schedule, and then you realize how much time you actually have. How it affects everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So again, to the second part, which is going through the different issues. So you mentioned kind of anxiety. You mentioned anxiety and how that spiraled into what you call depersonalization and like into a depression. So I guess like define the depersonalization and how that complemented with anxiety.
So I see depersonalization as just like extreme anxiety in a way.
Yeah.
It's so when you experience anxiety, you feel that you look around, you're just a bit spaced out and you're stressed out.
I say yeah, and it constricts me from doing anything. Like what is happening type of stuff. Yeah.
So for me, what my body does is at the moment when I'm going through heaps of stress or my body's physically tired, I'm worried about something, instead of like having the usual emotional response, it kind of disconnects itself to like protect itself from the trauma.
Right.
So like, for example, a lot of people when they're upset, like they'd cry or you like have an emotional response, but for me it's more, I'm just feel really disconnected from my body.
Yeah.
And I think that, well, for me that's a product of just a few traumas I've had.
Yeah.
And pretty much. So other symptoms are, it's like you've got really extreme brain fog. You can't really think clearly.
Yeah.
And like you have the worst memory loss. Like I'll be at work and it'll be a Tuesday and someone will say, "Yeah, what did you do on the weekend?" And I'll sit there for a minute and I'll be like, I don't know what I did on the weekend.
Right.
I don't. Yeah. So that, and then obviously it's a big downward spiral because you think, oh, what's wrong with me? Like there's something like the matter with me. And then like I used to focus on my symptoms all the time, trying to think of just a song name that I know, but it just hasn't come to me. Like I can't.
Yeah.
And it just, that kind of spirals me downwards as well. Yeah. So that's depersonalization.
Right.
Pretty much.
Is like, because I know for me, when the anxiety got too much and it turned into something that was just like misery, it was like a depression. Could you kind of see what was happening, but you couldn't really control things? That was more for me. I could see everything that was happening, but I couldn't control anything.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
100%. So that's the other thing that I forgot to mention. It feels like you're out of control. Like anything you do won't necessarily impact it.
Yeah.
So you kind of get a weird relationship with your body and your mind.
Yeah.
In a way, and it's kind of like so your thoughts are one thing.
Yeah.
And usually your thoughts, like for example, like trigger a body response.
Yeah.
If you're super stressed out, you'll be like you'll have an adrenaline rush and like. But with depersonalization, it's kind of like a wild card as well. You don't you could be in a really good mood and you could have done all the right things, had eaten well, gone to sleep on time, and then it will just come out of the blue.
Right.
And yeah. So that's the hard thing as well, because you think anything I'm going to do, it's not going to help the situation.
Yeah.
In a way. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you talk about like these traumas. What are these different things that you think have contributed to the depersonalisation?
So in year 9 or 10, my uncle, he committed suicide.
Oh, wow.
And I wasn't super close with him, but it was just, I'd been in a bubble, obviously, brought up, I haven't seen hardship really.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing that was like, whoa.
It's like a reality check.
Yeah.
It's really tough for
10.
Yeah.
And just to think as well, he left like 4 kids behind.
Oh.
And it was something I found really hard to wrap my head around.
Yeah.
And I didn't cry or anything. It was like my reality just changed. And it took a really long time to just let that sink through. And so that was the first time I experienced those feelings. I remember talking to my parents, and I used to say, feels like nothing is familiar. Your own house, it seems like it's just like a distant thing.
Yeah.
And same with your friends, you talk to them and you feel like you don't know them anymore, and everything around you kind of feels like unreal in a way.
Yeah.
And so that was the first time I experienced it. And then after that, I got some counselling at school.
That's good.
And eventually, after maybe 6 months, the symptoms kind of faded away, and I was back to normal really. And then midway through year 12, I got glandular fever, and that was in the lead up to trials. And I got super stressed out about that.
Yeah.
And I think as well, with glandular fever, it takes a big impact on your body. And so even when I recovered from it, it felt like I didn't really know my body. And I was under heaps of stress at school. And then I felt these symptoms come on again, and it was the same kind of things. And then I started having a few panic attacks.
Yeah.
And all that. And it kind of got a little bit better towards the end of school. I finished school off, and I kind of thought it was a direct correlation between just school, it's just stress.
Yeah.
It's just, once
It's
school's
just
over,
trying
it's done. But then, so I went off to schoolies, and I'm like, how good's this? Like, everything's gone. But then, obviously, as you do, it's not an easy week in your body.
Yeah.
And obviously I had a few drinks. And I found I also got really, really bad sunburn, so that I'm sure that wouldn't have, like 3rd-degree burns. On the first day. But by the last 2 days, I was just in like a state. I wasn't drinking, but it was the weirdest experience, because usually I can wrap my head around something because there's a reason for why I'm feeling this way, but I was at school, it's like the thing you've looked forward to for 2 years.
Best week of your life.
And you're like, you think nothing can get better, and then all of a sudden I was just hit with like this feeling, and it wasn't, I felt happy with, like, nothing bad had happened, but it was like this despair came over me. And I think it was due to like a physical thing with obviously glandular fever still in your bloodstream and all that, but
alcohol.
But I couldn't vomit or anything. I was trying to vomit, but it was just like this, like an anxiety attack I've never felt before. I looked around, it was like you're in a dream kind of thing.
Right.
And just seeing everyone around you just so happy, and you're just like, what's wrong with you in a way? It was just a really like traumatic thing for me.
Right.
In a way, and then like as we were coming home, I was just kind of felt like I was going in and out of consciousness in a way. Not consciousness, but like just zoning out, getting so zoned out. It was just a really, really weird experience. And then since then, it's kind of like the symptoms have persistently been there. It's just been worse at periods and a lot more manageable at other periods.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the background story to it all.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I think looking like on from me, like I had one night where like everything was great, like the weeks leading up to it, like I had been running all these great like healthy patterns of getting sleep and eating well and seeing friends. I was seeing a girl at this time, like everything was kind of like, it was like a schoolies week as well. Like I had my schoolies week, but this was like another period where everything was kind of falling into place. And then, like you said, out of nowhere, something just hit me. And I was at like a club, like I was just having a great time, something hit me. And that just like shocked me to my core. I didn't know what was going on. And again, like everything felt like a dream, but it was like, you were just so like disconnected from reality at that point.
Yeah, I think as well, I think that's why my symptoms have persisted.
Yeah.
Is because emotionally, so I was a lot more emotionally connected then.
Yeah.
But I've been so scared of feeling that way again, having those attacks.
Yeah.
That it's kind of like you're protecting yourself from it.
Yeah.
Because if you can't feel these emotions, then you can't have those attacks. But
yeah.
Also, if you cut off those emotions, then you're not really living very well.
Yeah, you're not feeling anything.
Yeah.
So did you, when you first realized this was like a legitimate thing, this wasn't just like a phase or whatever you call it, when did you first tell like your parents about, I guess, about it? Because you did talk to a counsellor, but then it kind of got worse over time, or it evolved to the point where even at your best time at schoolies, it wasn't, you weren't really able to, enjoy it as much. So when did you like first tell your parents about it?
I think when I came home from schoolies, I had a chat with my mum and I said, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
But she would obviously say, you've just had a bender, a 6-day bender or 7-day bender. Like, that's what happens to your body, it's natural. Even though it felt unnatural for me because I'm used to being able to just go all night and
handle it.
I kind of had to realise, since I've been sick as well, there's a new reality for my body.
Yeah.
It's not at the same point it used to be.
Yeah.
Which is something I've found it's a lot more manageable now that I realise my limits, and I don't try and push myself too hard.
Yeah.
But I had a chat with her then, and then when the symptoms kept persisting, I think I did have a few breakdowns to her, and I just didn't know what was wrong with me. So I started going to doctors, getting my bloods done, because at that point I got a bit hypochondriac, health anxiety, because I knew there was something wrong with me, but I didn't know what it was. And so I thought of everything. I thought maybe I've got glandular fever again. Checked my bloods, didn't have that. Maybe from the sunburn at Fiji, I got skin cancer, like a melanoma. Like maybe I've got a brain tumor.
You were like
I was just thinking everything.
Right. Yeah.
And it was just freaking me out. And that was also just felt like I was always on high alert. And it was kind of like the fight-flight response, just triggered constantly. Yeah. And then since then, I've kind of just been going on about my business, but then I have it just on autopilot. But then there has been a few fairly recent, maybe in the last 6 months, where everything's just been a bit overwhelming, and I've had to have another kind of chat to my mum.
Yeah, you need to break down a bit sometimes.
Yeah. Because as well, she's experienced not similar things, but like anxiety, depression, kind of things. So she's good to talk to about that. Which I'm pretty lucky. For that. And so that definitely does help, having someone to kind of talk to you, because they say like a problem shared is a problem halved,
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that is an important thing to do.
Yeah.
And,
So like in these, like you were in this fight or flight, like mode. It's like you can't. It's like you're always waiting for something bad to happen, and you can't enjoy like the good that is happening right now, which is like which is tough because you can't get back those memories or can't get those moments because you're stuck in this zone of thinking, oh, it's, what if this happens or what if this happens?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah, no, I get you. Has like social media played any role in all this?
I think in a way it has, just because you get a false sense of what you should be feeling right now by seeing everyone else out having such a good time. And you only see the best of the best on social media, you don't see the low points. I think that that wasn't the cause, or that wasn't a huge factor, but definitely played a part in it.
Yeah, I think I talked about this a lot, but it's like this world where everything is great, and if you're not living such a great life, or just things aren't great at the moment, you're looking at this and it's just bringing you down, where because I think you compare yourself to other people. I think I do, or I think I used to do, was just look at this person and be like, oh, I wish I had that, oh, I wish I had this, and it's just again, it's so such a stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
So I'll get your spill on like your friends and how they notice or how they, I guess, help through all this.
So at the start, I felt a bit isolated because I felt like I did have a few conversations to my friends, and they didn't really understand like how they just thought it was kind of a physical thing. I was sick, which it was to an extent, but there was obviously a lot of mental problems that were driving all the downward spiral. But recently I found it's been really good. I've got this close group of friends now of boys and girls, and we're just really open with each other.
That's great, yeah.
And we can just sit and we a couple of nights ago we were just sitting and talking about what upsets us. And we even just go around saying what we like about each other.
That's great.
It's just it's a good environment.
Yeah.
And I found as well, so we used to have an extended group of mates, and it's kind of split off.
Yeah.
And I was the first one to really realise that there was some people they say you surround yourself with, you are a product of your surroundings, really.
Yeah.
But I just felt there's a few, not toxic, but just negative people, influences in my life.
Yeah.
And it took my friends a long time, my other closer friends, a long time to realise that.
Yeah.
There was a few moments where some of them said quite hurtful things, even some about mental health.
Yeah.
And no one really, I would have thought that would be, everyone else would realise how negative these people were.
Yeah. It's important to talk about having the negative people there.
Yeah, it is. But I found it really helpful as well that my friends have caught on.
Yeah.
Pretty recently, and now we just surround ourselves with good people. Last night as well, I caught up with some old mates from school, and they're really good people, and it's a lot better when you have deep chats.
Yeah.
It's not like a superficial thing, that they're being real with you and are speaking obviously they're not sugarcoating stuff, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's just mates just having a chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's real. Yeah.
Yeah, so that has been very helpful for me, because I feel like I can be myself around them now. When before I had this expectation to be my old self, and I found that a bit tricky as well. That going out, because in my teens earlier teens, and I was a crazy kid,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit non-diagnosed, autistic. No, I'm not.
Right.
But yeah, there's this expectation of me to kind of make people laugh and be happy all the time. And I'll bring up that point I just said to you, how in my lowest point, there was one of my lowest points, this girl, one of my friends said to me, "I don't know how you're happy all the time." And I just found it like hilarious, not hilarious, but it's crazy that
Kind of ironic.
people can put on such an act just to fit in. And it also just brought up with me, what if other people are going through stuff like this and you wouldn't know, like you wouldn't be able to know, like, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah.
Because they said that as well when I think Robin Williams died.
Yeah.
They said he was happy all the time.
Yeah.
He'd be happy one day, and the day before he died or whatever, he was happy. And his friends just couldn't see how he could do such a thing.
Yeah.
So I think that as well is an important thing, to be who you're, like, don't put an act on, just be like, express how you're feeling at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that takes a lot of pressure off you in a way as well.
Because those conversations are like crucial. It can be anyone in your friend group, even the person who seems to have everything like together and everything's great. Like they can just be like the best actor and you're not seeing it.
Yeah.
Like I think it was 2019 and we played footy together, AFL together.
The Mullet Club.
The boys. And I think 2019 was where everything really built up for me, and I don't think anyone at the club would have noticed. I'm not sure if you noticed, because
I think I noticed when that one of the senior blokes made a speech about mental health, and I think you said something about it, or you said something in the chat. You said, and I realised, I was like, that was reassuring as well, knowing someone else.
Yeah. And like I was like the captain, and everyone expects like that was a mad experience, but everyone like expects like, you know, that I'm like all good and everything and all that stuff. I'm all great and happy and all that stuff. But yeah, even despite that, like I'll talk about that, like AFL, like that was huge for me. How was that for you? Like just being somewhere else you can put your energy.
Yeah, I wasn't going to play AFL last year.
You weren't?
I thought, my AFL days were done, until I think Dale bumped into me at a train station or something. He's like, come down. I was, I think I started like in week 3.
Yeah.
But at the end of the year, I really didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Just because obviously the anxiety of it, just going to a new unfamiliar. I was familiar with a lot of the boys, like most of the team, but in your mind you can think it can just be so irrational in a way.
Yeah.
But I was so glad at the end of the year, just making mates, and you just feel like you're a part of something in yourself.
And something bigger
that's
than you.
That's what my dad was telling me. It's hard when you're like going through it to realise the bigger picture, but he said you gotta like be something bigger than yourself. Yeah. Which I think at St George, plug. It's a really good environment.
And any club, any sporting team where you can feel like, because you're all working for the same goal, you can feel like the stress of other life can kind of stay there. Let me worry about this, because this is something that's constructive and it's fun, and everyone really loves a challenge when it comes down to it. So we get into the third part, which is advice, revelations, and reflection. So I guess start off with the steps you've taken and the coping methods that have helped you on this whole journey, this whole path, I guess.
I think the very first step in recovery, or for me at least, was getting a proper diagnosis.
Yeah.
Because before I had a diagnosis, when I went to doctors, they wouldn't give me. Nothing would come up in my blood test. they said you're probably just a little bit anxious, a little bit depressed. I needed kind of the reassurance, and that would make me go on websites until 3 a.m. searching up, am I schizophrenic? Am I like anything? You could ask my mum, like, oh.
You needed that.
I would search up symptoms of brain tumours. Like, it's funny now, but it wasn't at the time. It was like, so only fairly recently, this year, I've got a proper diagnosis. A lot of it was physically.
Yeah.
So I went to a rheumatologist, and so he said I've got mild chronic fatigue.
Yeah.
That's a result of the glandular fever.
Yeah.
So that is kind of a triggering factor of some of these problems.
Yeah.
Because if I think the problems are just mental, I'm imagining them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's obviously physical symptoms there. And then I went to this really good doctor a couple of months ago, and since then a lot of things are improved.
Yeah.
And he did a thorough health examination on me. He's like a half doctor, half kind of naturopath thing.
Yeah.
So it's all about like the connection between body and mind.
Yeah.
And he found I had really, really low blood pressure, and like disturbingly low. Like when you sit up, you lie down and then stand up, your blood pressure's meant to go up.
Yeah.
But mine was going down.
Right.
And then just that alone has helped so much, because all these symptoms I was feeling, like the cognitive symptoms like brain fog, memory loss, that were spiraling my mental issues.
Yeah.
I found out was just I had low blood pressure.
Yeah.
Low oxygen to the brain. And so I felt like that was so reassuring. It brought me back to earth a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's just a physical problem you can fix.
Yeah.
It's not something you have to live with for the rest of your life.
No. Yeah.
And so now I'm on a bunch of medication for like adrenal fatigue. So that's like all your like adrenaline stress response.
Yeah.
Because I'd been drained from all the stressing I'd done, and that's also makes it really hard to enjoy yourself as well. Because if you've got low blood pressure, he told me it's really hard for serotonin, dopamine to develop.
Yeah.
And that's obviously going to make you feel a bit depressed.
Yeah.
So since then I've been a lot better, because I feel like I have control back.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be able to be tired at night. Before it would be like I'd be tired all through the day, and then I'd get a burst of energy at night.
Yeah.
It'd just be weird. Like I couldn't even know if I'm tired or not.
Yeah.
There was nothing certain in my life.
Yeah.
And that leads me to the other thing, is just creating certainty and routine.
Yeah.
I found routine to be so helpful.
That's huge.
Something when you wake up in the morning, you know you're going to do that day.
Yeah.
So I've found that in the gym.
Yeah.
So that's what this epidemic's helped me with as well. Just giving a lot of energy to the gym, just focusing on my body and my health as well, with just eating the right amount, eating a lot of protein, a lot of good food for you.
Yeah. It's another goal to have. It's just like a great thing.
Yeah.
You wake up and you're like, sweet, I'm going to the gym, I'm doing this today.
Yeah, because I think as well, I've had a lot of chats with people from my mates from school, and when you finish school, you're out of this bubble where everything leads up to your final exams.
Yeah.
And you I know myself, I was a bit lost.
Yeah.
When it was over.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because your whole perspective was on that's the be all or end all.
Yeah.
But then you're in this new, weird, unfamiliar territory, and so you kind of need to ground yourself with something to work towards as well.
Yeah.
Rather than I felt I was floating around, not really progressing with anything.
Yeah.
I was progressing with uni, but I was barely passing, and then I dropped out, and it was kind of like the past year I haven't done anything to better myself.
Right.
So that has definitely been helpful. And then, as we talked about, just being open with your friends, your parents, not essentially acting, just being yourself.
Yeah, being yourself, yeah.
Another one I found to be really helpful is just positive affirmations.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of that.
And mindfulness stuff and all
Yeah.
that. I was in this zone as well for a while where I was like, oh, why did this have to happen to me? And I just wish I'd be how I used to be. And now I tell myself, and that I'm kind of glad this stuff happened to me, because it gave me a whole new mindset.
Yeah.
And it kind of pushed me towards a place that I wanted to be, but I had a lot of things holding me back. But I feel like it was kind of in that full battle to survive kind of thing. You feel like it's kind of pushed me to this point. I had to be pushed to this point.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy about that. Because I feel like as well I'd be scared to open up to my mates if this hadn't happened.
Yeah.
A lot of my insecurities and stuff would just weigh me down more.
Yeah.
And it feels like I'm equipped for just a lot more now. I can kind of handle anything that's thrown at me.
Yeah.
But I don't have
More
to
open to the world, and that it's not all great and it's not all
Yeah,
bad. You
yeah.
have that balance.
And now I have all the coping strategies to really deal with anything,
It's good.
which I think is a really good thing.
What's like the best advice you've heard from other people, and also like the worst advice? Because there's some good stuff and then some bad stuff out there, I guess.
The best advice.
Yeah.
Let me think. I know there's good ones. I just can't think of them.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I'm gonna think.
Yeah.
Let me think of it.
I think I'll start it off. For me, some of the best advice I've gotten is just take today for today. Like live day by day.
Yeah.
Like I constantly pre-worry about the next thing and the next thing. If I can just do what I need to do today to set myself up for tomorrow, then tomorrow's going to be a good day, as much as I can handle. So yeah, I think just taking things day by day and constantly reminding yourself of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of a good one. No,
That's all
it's
good.
nothing
That's all
inspirational, cheesy, but
Yeah. That's all good.
yeah. Kelly Clarkson. What doesn't kill you makes you. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Link that song, bro.
Yeah, link it in the description. Nah. In all seriousness, yeah, probably just living in the moment, not being scared of what's can happen and what can't happen, because then that takes you away from the present. And yeah.
Like I was out with some friends last night. I haven't seen them in a long time, and it was great catching up with them. And I caught myself thinking about like the next day, and then be, I'm not going to be with them in the next couple of hours. And then I stop myself. I'm like, okay, I'm here right now. We're playing. What were we playing? We're playing some like drunk questions thingy. We were just having a good time. And I had to stop myself and be like, sweet, let me focus on this round of this game with these people. And not spiral out of control.
I can relate to that a lot.
Yeah.
You start, I did the same thing last night. I was with my mates and I thought, like the poker game was ending and I was like,
here we go.
we're about to go. It's just going to be back to just the boring stuff. But you've got to, it takes you away from the moment. And before that I was enjoying myself, so yeah, that's important.
Right.
The negative, the worst one?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of bad advice.
I reckon it's probably just man up or something like that. It's nothing
that whole
special,
thing.
but
Yeah. And I think there's been a great shift from that being the norm of manning up, because a lot of men are being open with their experiences. But just in general, like people just like get over it, man up, and like stop thinking so much. And it's just not helpful when you don't have any strategies to actually start moving forward.
And with there's been heaps of good things to kind of end that stigma in a way. Like have you seen those footy interviews that they're doing now with what's his name, the Bulldogs player that quit from footy?
Boyd, was it?
Yeah.
Boyd. Yeah.
Like, when was the last time you cried? That's the the heading of it.
Right.
They did one with who else? What's his name?
Was it Jack Stevens or was that another one?
No, they haven't done that one. I don't
Right,
think,
yeah.
or they might have,
I
but
haven't seen it. I should. Yeah.
I can't remember. He's a Hawthorn retired player. I can't
Right.
remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good
Yeah.
to just. It's reassuring. These are like your idols, and if
Yeah.
they're feeling something, you can. It's not weird for you to feel the same way.
Yeah, and it grounds and like you think they're this everything and they got everything sorted out, but
They're just humans.
yeah, just humans at the end of the day. I'll link that. What is something you would tell your younger self, knowing what you know now?
Just to be less, stress out less, because everything is going to fall into place.
Yes.
But that is one of the things that kept my cycle just going round and round, was the stress response. Everything freaked me out, and it was what else would I tell myself?
I would say just like to hold on as well.
Yeah, hold on.
You think
There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, you think you're in this maze and you can't get out.
Yeah.
But it's really less complicated than you think.
Yeah, that's the other thing. My counsellor told me, people overcomplicate recovery. You try and like give yourself reasons why you can't recover.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's another coping mechanism, because you're too scared to think everything's good again.
Yeah.
You feel like something's going to come and bite you on the bum again.
Yes. Yeah.
And just bring you down even further. But
yeah,
that's not the case, really.
What is something you know you can do better on this whole just journey?
I would probably say be more sensitive in a way.
Yeah.
Through this whole period as well, there has been points where I think my problems are bigger than other people's problems.
Yeah.
And I can see I have been a little bit selfish in a way.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't done anything terrible.
No.
But even people's little petty problems, I found it hard to really relate to them. Like, oh my God, he just got with another girl or something. I'm like, it's just something that I found hard to relate to at the moment.
Yeah.
But I feel like opening up to my friends as well, and hearing their problems is also, you're not the only one going through something.
Yeah.
So make it less about you.
Okay.
And that's another step in recovery. You don't focus on yourself so much.
Yeah.
And that helps you live in the present as well.
Yeah.
So probably just be more sensitive. There's times where because I'm pretty thick-skinned at this point.
Yeah.
It's a joke I'd find pretty funny. I like, not everyone finds that funny.
Yeah.
And it's just, sometimes I make, not really upset, just get on people's nerves.
Yeah.
And I don't empathise enough.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm aware of it. It's just at the time I just.
You're in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Makes sense. I'm gonna throw another question in. Talking about getting in a really good routine, what's just a couple of things that you get done throughout the day that are like healthy for you and that really give you like some wins as you get through the day?
First of all, I've got to eat when I get up straight away.
Yeah. And
have a really big breakfast.
Yeah.
That has helped me a lot, and that's what's the gym's helped as well. It's kind of like goes hand in hand. Because of my low blood pressure as well, that's what the doctor said was really important, to eat a lot of protein, a lot of food to fuel your brain.
Yeah.
So kind of my meals are the staple of the day.
Yeah.
And when I'm feeling low on energy, I know that I need to eat. And I don't eat for like pleasure anymore or because I'm hungry. It's more, I can feel I'm getting tired, I'm getting a bit impatient, and I know I need to eat, so that's an important one.
Yeah.
Like 4 big meals a day or 3 big meals a day.
Yeah.
The other one's the gym, 6 times a week for a couple of hours
Hell yeah.
a day. That just kind of keeps me grounded, as I said.
Yeah.
Just staying on top of all your uni work.
Yeah.
Don't leave stuff last minute, because that can trigger
Yeah.
response. What What else? Giving yourself designated leisure time and creating structure to your week. So work hard through the week, which I haven't really been doing, but I want to be doing.
Yeah.
And then relax on the weekend.
Yeah.
Because with school, I found that really helpful. Just a 5-day structure. On a Friday afternoon, you get that big burst of energy. It's Friday, it's sick. You're going out with the boys, hopping on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Then Saturday night's good as well. Sunday's a little less. Monday's shit. And it's like that kind of cycle. If you're progressing in ways, that cycle is good for you as well.
Yeah.
Because you know you can look forward to the weekend.
Yeah.
That makes your Wednesday better because you're looking forward to Friday.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not tricking your mind, but it's kind of
just eating it in a way.
Yeah.
It's also like you want to get to the point where you're actually looking forward to things on Monday, and you have something to look forward to on Monday. You have something to look forward to on Tuesday.
For sure.
And it's less like it's rigid. You know, this side of the week is good, this side of the week is bad.
Yeah, that's as well. Those times where I couldn't tell people what I did on the weekend.
Yeah. I
wouldn't even know what day it is half the time.
Yeah.
And if you keep your week, you got Tuesday training, Thursday training, it keeps you kind of just level. You know what your week's gonna happen, and it gives you less anxiety.
Yeah.
In a way as well.
Right. Yeah.
About the unknown.
Yeah. What is something that you personally, from yourself, with your experiences, like the best advice from you, even if you can't, it's all good. It's
that I could give.
Yeah, because it's like what you go through, you have your own advice for the same person who's going through that at the moment.
Yeah.
I think there's so much great advice out there. For me is to just take your time, and I think it's just take your time is like the main one for me. You know, I'm 19 years old and I was worrying about all these different things that are happening in like the next 20 years. I have another like 60 years ahead of me, hopefully, fingers crossed. But it's just understanding that all these different things take time. Like I was worrying about my career. It took me 2 years to kind of find what I want to do, and even if I'm in something that I don't want to do, I still have plenty of years to figure that out. You can go in and out of industries like that. It's just, you know, once you find that passion, it's just like, I think never letting that go. So yeah, taking your time, anything. And
just a follow up on that as well, when I said before that with the positive affirmations, that I'm glad these things happen, because it pushed me to a point where I feel like I'm a better person. That made me address a lot of my underlying anxiety I had during school about what I'm going to do in the future. Like, am I smart enough to do this, that? And that made me address those problems as well, instead of just keeping them hidden. But the advice I'd give would be similar to yours. Take each day one at a time. Don't be too forward thinking. What else? And just, even when you can't really see the end of a tunnel, just know like it's there. You just need a lot of the time, you just need to take little steps. Because a lot of these things you have to kind of get your body to a state where you're capable of feeling these feelings again. And that doesn't happen overnight. So you kind of just need to put one foot in front of the other and so you'll get there.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Alright, that's a wrap. Thank you for watching. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks.
You very well. I hope you found something helpful from that. And have a good day.
And also, if you want to message me about, is anyone's had like depersonalisation or anything?
I'll link your things. So you can message Finn and get his input on anything you need.
Because it's therapeutic to talk to someone. About who can relate to you in a way. So it's a mutual thing.
Sweet.
Good stuff.
Have a good one.